What's going on, guys? My name is Christopher and welcome to It's Complicated, the show where I talk about and showcase wristwatches. So if you love watches like I do, you're going to want to subscribe to the show. Today we're talking the Omega Seamaster Professional redesign that's launching this October. Here we go. So this year at Baselworld, Omega announced a redesign of the Seamaster Professional. It's for the 25th anniversary of the Omega Seamaster Professional, the 300-meter diver. I want to talk about things I like about the redesign and things I don't like about this redesign and how Omega might be making a mistake. First, let's talk about things I like about this redesign. They brought back the wave dial. The dial is actually now ceramic and the waves are laser engraved. They have a little more spacing between them, kind of makes it pop a little better than the wave dial from old. They took out the Omega 2500 movement, which was a heavily modified ETA movement, and they put in this one, their in-house 8800 movement. Interesting fact about the in-house Omega movements is that they're built at ETA, but they're built by a team of Omega employees on a dedicated Omega production line. Now, if you're wondering why that is, that's because the Swatch Group owns Omega and they own ETA, so they can get away with that, and it kind of makes sense, but it's still an in-house movement. Now, this movement is METAS certified. That's METAS. That's the Federal Institute of Metrology. The METAS certification is just a stricter certification than the COSC certification, so now it's also METAS certified as well as COSC certified. It's worth mentioning that the Federal Institute of Metrology has a headquarters inside Omega. I don't know if I understand why it has to be METAS certified as well as COSC certified now. Seems a little redundant, I guess. I mean, the man on the fucking moon has been keeping perfect time, a loss of 0.0 seconds per day 3 times in a row. So why do we need this METAS certification? I understand it goes up to 15,000 Gauss and yada yada yada, but it just seems a little unnecessary. Another thing I actually like is they moved the date window from the classic position at 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And that does help with the symmetry. A lot of people that prefer a no date Submariner prefer it because of the loss of symmetry having the date window at 3. I still like the date window at 3 o'clock, but I also think it works well at 6 o'clock here. Another thing they did that I really like was they have a display back on the back of the case, and that's not super common on a 300-meter dive watch. And it is nice to kind of have a look at that movement. I think that's something that most people will enjoy. If you spend that kind of money on that kind of watch, you can kind of look at the back and check the movement out, look at all the finishing. So those were some things that I really enjoyed about this redesign, but let's talk about things that I don't like about this redesign coming in August. They're changing the case size, going from 41 mil to 42 millimeter, and I just don't see why that's necessary. This is the 25th anniversary Seamaster Professional, and they're gonna make it bigger. Seems like on an anniversary redesign, you would want to keep it the exact same size as it used to be, and I don't think there'd be any problem putting that movement in a 41 millimeter case. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they could do it. The other thing I don't like is them boasting about all this METAS stuff. Obviously, they have a deal with the Federal Institute of Metrology, and they have them in Omega, so they've worked a money partnership, I'm sure, some kind of funding, something, and now it's like, oh, we know we're COSC certified, plus we're METAS certified, you know, up to 15,000 Gauss and yada, yada, yada. And I just don't understand the point of a double certification, especially when watches that aren't METAS certified are keeping perfect time. That's not to say that I don't appreciate Omega using an in-house movement now, but I just think the double certification is a little redundant. And now for my biggest gripe with the announcement of the Seamaster redesign is 14 different fucking versions. They are making 14 different Seamasters. So if you go into an Omega boutique or an authorized dealer, they're going to tell you, hey, would you like to see our Seamaster Professional? 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 Over and over and over again, 14 different versions. It is just unfucking believable. I think 3 versions is the sweet spot. You have your black, you have your red, and you have your classic blue. Then maybe throw in 2 limited editions, because we all know how much Omega loves the limited edition. 14 versions is just too many. I know one of them is a limited edition, but that still leaves 13 different Seamasters available. When you're talking Omega Seamaster Professional, the majority of the people are gonna say the blue one is the best one. And okay, like I said, you have a couple variations. Have the red, have the black, all stainless, and then you have that collection there. But 14 versions is just a little silly. You got the white version with the blue waves, you have the blue dial, you have the red dial, you have the black dial, you have a two-tone dial, you have a titanium case, that's the limited edition one, over and over and over again, same Seamaster over and over. I think when you make that many of the same product, you kind of hurt the brand. It would have been great if Omega just said, hey, here's the redesign. Okay, we kept it 41 mil. We got the display back, in-house movement, wave dial is back, and it's only gonna be in 3 colors, the red, the black, and the blue. And those are my thoughts on the matter. I mean, when I first saw the redesign, I was like, oh man, look how cool that is. Like, they got the wave dial back, the in-house movement, display back. Then I saw that they were putting out 13, 14 different versions, 14 if you count the limited edition, plus they increased the case size. Do I think this watch is gonna sell? Yeah, I think it's gonna sell, but I think you're gonna see so many of these oddball colors sitting in the gray market, just sitting there. They're gonna be discounting, 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 and eventually they will just sell for cost, if not less. And that wraps up another episode of It's Complicated. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the show for more videos like this while I'll be talking watches. And I'll see you next time on another episode of It's Complicated.